Okay, so we are now recording, and you should now be seeing about to start. And a warm welcome to everybody. Fantastic. What I would say, if you've got another window open in your browser and you want to go into Facebook, if you check out the Chat Marketing Facebook page, about an hour ago, I posted that we were live in an hour. So what I'm going to be doing, just as a little bit of fun, if you want to share that, because people can still join the call, if you want to go on and share that post, what I'm going to do at the end of the webinar is choose somebody at random that's shared that post, and they will win a free Facebook critique. So I'll look at your Facebook page and tell you what you're doing well and areas that you can improve on. So I would normally sell that about £75 plus VAT. I'll be throwing that in as a little incentive. So if you've got another window open, don't close this one down because you might not get back on again. But if you hop over to the Chat Marketing Facebook page, I pin that post to the top. So if you just share that, then hopefully we can get some more people on the call. Okay, right, let's get into it. Before we do that though, a little bit of a news update. Fan Page Friday. I'm hosting the Chat Marketing Fan Page Friday. I tend to do this once a month at the moment. So this month in April, it's this Friday. So if you'd like to get some more likes for your Facebook page, it's a great way to get likes without having to pay for Facebook advertising. I was speaking to a friend of mine actually that was on the last one, and he said he got 15 likes in the space of a couple of hours. I also know people that have got business. In fact, I know a couple of people personally that have come back and said, thank you so much for doing these Fan Page Friday events. I've actually got work out of that. So all you do is hop over to the Chat Marketing Facebook page this Friday, anytime from 6 a.m., and there'll be full instructions on the page on how to take part. So if you've never done a Fan Page Friday, you want to put that in your diary because that's well worth taking part. Okay, so there's going to be a lot that we're going to be covering over the next 45 minutes or so. Um, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute, but there's going to be lots of things you want to take notes of, and obviously you'll get the replay, all things going according to plan at the end. So if you want to rewind that and anything you want to go over, feel free to do that. Okay, so what have I got planned for you over the next little while? Well, we're going to start, first of all, we'll do a few slides. So I'm going to explain to you why email marketing is so important. We'll look at a little bit of an introduction to MailChimp. So we'll do the first couple of slides on the slides. Then what we'll do is we'll switch over to the internet and I'll show you how to create a MailChimp account to start collecting emails. I'll also show you how to link MailChimp to your Facebook page so you can start getting leads and collecting email addresses straight from your Facebook page. And I'm also going to show you how to create a sign-up form to put on your website. Because obviously it's not just about social media, you've got your website and any other online properties you might have, a blog perhaps. I'll show you how to create a sign-up form that you can use to create that. And we'll briefly show you how to start with your first newsletter. Then we'll finish off with questions and answers. So that's the format that I have planned for you. Hopefully that sounds interesting. Most of you know me already, so I'm not going to bother going into a huge, big introduction. My name's Alan Martin. I'm the Managing Director of Chat Marketing. We're a training and coaching company specialising in social media and email marketing. So basically, we help businesses understand how to use these social media platforms to win more business and become more profitable. Because the thing is, if you don't know what you're doing, you can spend a lot of time and waste a lot of time, and it's just not going to be profitable for you. So I spend my days either doing workshops. Most of them are actually in-person workshops rather than online, but I do have some online courses. And I also do one-to-one work with clients or with a whole team. It depends on the size of the organization. But anyway, that's enough about me. Most of you I know are already subscribed to the Chat Marketing newsletters, so I'll not do a big introduction there. So first of all, why do you need email marketing? Well, let's see. First of all, I mean, there's a lot more reasons for that, but I'll go through 7 top reasons. First of all, you may have noticed that your Facebook, your organic ranking on Facebook, is getting lower. Now, about the tail end of last year, Facebook announced that they had tweaked their newsfeed algorithm. Now, they actually do this all the time, but they made a major shift. Now, a little bit of a recap. You might not be aware that every time you post on Facebook, not all of your fans see that. And it's the newsfeed algorithm that dictates who sees what. Now, Facebook did this tweak that meant that instead of what previously you were getting around about 16% of your fans were seeing your posts, they did this tweak and roughly you can expect about 6% of your fans to see your posts. Now, you can get really upset about this and think this is terrible. I'm not paying or I'm going off somewhere else. But if you actually think about it, I mean, obviously, when your reach is going down is not good news. No one's going to say say that it is. But when you look at other platforms, you wouldn't expect Google, for example, to show your page at the top of Google without paying for it in some way, and you wouldn't expect to be in a newspaper without paying for it. Um, so it's what Facebook are now doing. They're still showing your organic content, but it's getting less and less. And so you need some way to make sure that the most important information that you're trying to get out there, your people that are interested in your products and services, that are seeing that. So that's where email marketing comes in. If people are more likely to see your news updates when they appear in their inbox. Social networks, I've just pretty much hinted at this. A lot of the social networks are moving towards a pay-to-play model. Now, it's still free to have a Facebook page, but if you want more of your posts to be seen on Facebook, unfortunately, you need to allocate a little bit of budget towards Facebook ads. Now, it doesn't need to break the bank, and Facebook ads are actually really, really good value, and you can reach exactly the right people that you're trying to reach. So that's actually really good. But it's obviously before we didn't have to pay for that, so that's obviously slightly annoying. And more Twitter obviously are now a public company as well, so they'll be under similar pressures to sell more advertising, and they're already bringing in new advertising options, if you like. So as these social networks become more pay to play, it's more important than ever that you have an email list that you can market to. Okay, you don't own your presence on social networks. Now, Facebook, just talking about Facebook, but the same applies to whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any of the social networks. They change all the time. And that can be a little bit frustrating for people, particularly if you're trying to grasp what's going on with social media as well as do your day job. It can be quite daunting trying to keep up with all these changes. And it's a bit like if you build your business on one of your social media platforms or on a group of social media platforms, it's like building on rented land, which is not great. And Facebook can change. They all change all the time. Some of the changes are great. They bring in some really good initiatives from time to time. Oftentimes, though, they're not so great, and you find yourself disadvantaged. Now, Facebook have not said that they're going to ever charge for business pages, but there'd be nothing to stop them to say, right, well, if you want to keep your business page on Facebook, it's going to be £75 a month. And if you've built your business on there and you don't have any other way to interact with your fans, then you're kind of between a rock and a hard place. You can abandon Facebook and go somewhere else, but then you're starting from scratch. So again, that's another important reason why you need to start building your email list so that you own that, so you can market to them as you see fit. Now, Facebook, I mentioned at the start, Facebook have this newsfeed algorithm that filters what you see in your newsfeed. If it was unfiltered, Facebook estimate that you could see up to 1,500 pieces of content. Now, that's too much. Because there's more and more competition in the news feeds as people basically like more brand pages, and don't unlike the ones they no longer like. So the competition in the news feeds is getting more and more fierce. So Facebook have actually introduced the algorithm. It's been going for some time, but it was to try and make sure that users see the most relevant content in their news feed. But a lot of the other social networks don't have that. The information is unfiltered, which in a way is good because if the fans liked your page, why shouldn't they see all of your updates? But the downside is it's become a bit like information overload. There's just so much information that blink and you miss it. And Twitter's a bit like that. Unless you know how to filter what you want to see using things like Twitter lists, and posting at the right time when your fans are most likely to be active, then you're going to miss a lot. So again, that's another reason why you need something else. Okay, so why email marketing? Well, 91% of consumers check their email every day, and the return on investment of email marketing is estimated by the Direct Marketing Association to be £21.48 for every £1 spent. Now, we're going to be mainly looking at MailChimp, and I'll talk a little bit about the cost of that. Now, don't worry, before you panic, when you first start out, there isn't a cost. It's free up to a level, but I'll go into that in the next couple of slides. But there are different email packages out there, and it's just to think that what you're paying out does generate a very positive return on investment. You tend to find that a lot more people will see your emails than they will see your newsfeed posts, whatever social media you're using. And then, of course, the click-through rates tend to be a lot higher as well. So that's all. There's one more reason here, and the last one here is that you own your email list. So within reason, you can email people as often as you like. Now, if you email them too often, then people will just unsubscribe. So obviously, you can't. You have to respect people's inbox. But that aside, and everybody's audience is slightly different. What my subscribers are happy with, maybe other people's wouldn't be, or vice versa. I know, for example, if you subscribe to Social Media Examiner, you get an email every single day. Now, I don't mind that because the content that you get on that particular email newsletter is always very, very high quality. But others I tend to get from people, and to be honest, I maybe just give it a second look, you'll probably have the same. But the key point is that you own your email list, so you can contact them as often as you like, and it's not going to necessarily cost you any more. Obviously, it depends on what software package you're using. Okay, so hopefully now you see the rationale for why you need email marketing. But social media has a very important part to play in this, because social media is the engine that drives your email marketing. And you can really use not just Facebook, but lots of other social media channels to get people to join your email lists. We're going to be primarily focusing on Facebook today, but you can do quite a lot with Twitter and other social networks as well. So before we nick on to the internet and I start showing you how to create your account, a little bit of an introduction to MailChimp. Okay, so first thing to note, I'm not an affiliate for MailChimp, so I'm not necessarily trying to promote this. There's nothing in it for me to promote this to you. I just think it's such a fantastic channel. Myself, if I mentioned there's quite a lot of chat marketing subscribers that are on the call already. Now, I actually use Infusionsoft for my mailing. The reason for that is because Infusionsoft is more for email power users. If you've got a fairly large list, you can do a lot more with Infusionsoft. You can do a lot more segmenting, and you can do intelligent email. So, for example, if I sent out a newsletter and people clicked on a certain link on it, I can trigger off a series of emails. Or if I send out an email to my email list and depending on what they click, they can get a different set of messages, and you can do a lot more. But the thing is, it's not free and it's quite expensive. Now, it works for me because I definitely get a return on investment from my Infusionsoft marketing. But in order for it to work, you need a sizable mailing list for it to work for you. Now, I would say by sizable, I would think anything over, say, 500 or 600 emails. I know there's people out there with thousands of people on their mailing list. Um, if you're at that level, 500 or 600, then it's maybe worth looking at Infusionsoft. There are other email packages out there. In fact, there are hundreds. I'm actually an associate with Infusionsoft because I just love what they do. But I'm going to be mainly focusing on MailChimp. Well, in fact, exclusively on MailChimp tonight, because MailChimp, I mean, I would never recommend Infusionsoft for somebody that was an absolute beginner at this email marketing. And the way I'm seeing this is a lot of you are maybe seeing that your organic reach in Facebook has been declining and you're wanting to look for other ways to improve that situation. So I'm imagining a lot of you are either new to email marketing or just really starting out. And MailChimp is a fantastic platform. Okay, so that out the way, what is MailChimp? Basically, MailChimp is a cloud-based platform where you can collect your email addresses, you can create sign-up forms, you can set auto-response messages, you can create branded HTML templates so your emails look really nice. You can put in merge fields, so you're not sending out emails that say "Dear Reader." It's customized to the individual's name, and you can put in other merge fields. So the importance of it being cloud-based is that you can collect leads or emails from lots of different sources. And tonight we're going to be looking at Facebook and your website, but it could be your blog or it could be other places as well. But the fact that it exists on the cloud, then it allows emails to be added in from all these different sources. How much does it cost? Well, it's free up to 2,000 subscribers. So if you've got 2,000 people on your mailing list, you're doing pretty well. And that allows you, the free plan allows you up to 12,000 emails. So that is quite good. But even once you go beyond that, it works on a sliding scale. So if you had 2001 subscribers, for example, you would pay $30 a month, and then it goes up pretty much in rungs of 250. So every 250, you get charged another $5 on top of that. So once you get into the thousands and thousands, it will start to add up. But you could always, if you find yourself in that fortunate position, you can always export your mailing list from MailChimp and take it to Infusionsoft or iContact or there's a whole lot of other systems out there. But when you're just starting out, then MailChimp is fantastic and it doesn't cost you a penny. Right, okay, so we're going to switch on to the live demos now. I'll just switch off my PowerPoint or minimize it anyway, so bear with me a second. Okay, we will start off with MailChimp. Okay, so you need to create your MailChimp account. So if you go to www.mailchimp.com, this is the screen that you should now be seeing. Okay, now you'll see on the right hand side a big orange button that says sign up free. If you click on that, now I'm aware that there's a little bit of a delay in what you see and what I'm seeing, so if I do pause for a couple of seconds, it's just to let your screen catch up. Now, you put in some details here, email, select it, come up with a username and a password, and then create your account. And what it will do then is it will trigger an email to your, to your inbox, which you then click on the hyperlink in your email, and it takes you back to another screen where you add in more information about your company and your address and all that kind of thing. It's trying to make sure that you're a real person and that you're not one of these spam robots. Now, it will probably take you about 10 minutes to do that. If you're lucky, you'll get it done much quicker. But so that I'm not keeping you from your Real Madrid football match too long, I'm bypassing that. So we'll not take the 10 minutes. I'm just going to close that. And you will come to this screen here. So this is after you've put in your details, you've had an email, you've got into your email package, you've clicked on the link, and then you've added some basic information in the sign-up form. The bottom bit of the sign-up form where it asks you to put in if you want to upload a profile picture, you don't need to worry about that. That's absolutely fine. And then you will get to a page like this here. Okay, so this gives you a number of prompts. I'll just get rid of this little guided tour we don't need here. It gives you a number of prompts. It says create and send a campaign, create a list, and start building your audience. Now, what I would suggest you do is start with creating a list. Okay, now a list is basically like a bucket where you're going to collect your email leads. When people subscribe to your newsletters or your mailing list, they need to go into a list. So what you do is you click on this little icon here. He says, create list. Oh, I hope the screen's not frozen. Wouldn't that be typical? Okay, this one looks like it's working. On the on the left-hand side toolbar, you'll see these same options. So create a campaign, templates, or lists. So normally you could just click on this middle, but we'll click on lists on the left-hand toolbar. And I can see the little wheel of doom working, so something's happening. Okay, and you should be seeing a screen that says you have no lists. Okay, so let's see. On the right-hand side, you've got a little icon that's pointing up to create a list. So we're going to click on that. Okay, and this is where you give the list a name. So we'll call this webinar test. Okay, and you put the default from email. So when this appears in people's email boxes, this is the email address that it'll come from. So we'll put info at marketing.co.uk. Okay, and the from name, we'll just put chat marketing. Okay, now it says to write us a quick reminder about how the people got on your list. So if you click on that, it gives you an option. You're receiving this email because you opted in at our website. I usually just copy this. So you are receiving. Oh. 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 Wish I could spell. This email because, okay, you get the idea. I'm not going to finish the rest because that's just, I'm just pretty much copying their suggested text. But what I would say is, because you signed up to our mailing list on Facebook or on websites, and then you just scroll down and it says, do you want a daily summary of activity? Subscribe notifications as they happen. I will click on daily summary, but it's really a preference, an individual preference, and we'll click on save. Okay, and we'll just wait for that to load up. Hopefully that'll be fine. Right, now we have a list called webinar test. Okay, what we now need to do, that's our bucket formed now. We now need to create a series of sign-up forms. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is create a sign-up form for our Facebook page. So if we click on sign-up form here, Now I'll just take this a little bit slowly so you can follow me. There's a number of selections here. Now we don't have time to go through all the choices, but the two you'll need tonight are this one, the general forms. This is for embedding on your Facebook page, and this one here, embedded forms. This is for your website or blog. So as we're creating a Facebook page first, we'll go for general form. I'm just going to click select. And hopefully this will load up shortly. Okay, perfect. Right, so we can edit this now. We can put in a headline. Right, design. I'm not seeing my controls to the panels. Webinar panels, hiding it. Okay, design. Right, so we'll add a, oops, edit content. This doesn't look like the header I'm looking for. Right, here we go. So when I'm hovering over webinar tests, you can see I can now edit this little grey text. So I'm going to change this to, there's a little bit of a delay on the webinar. Oh, come on. Right, so instead of webinar test, we'll call this the chat marketing newsletter. Okay, now you want to add a little message here. Okay, now this bit will explain what the newsletter is all about. Oh, come on. So please add your details below to join the chat marketing newsletter. Okay, now it's a good idea to give people a reason to join. You know, I would probably add so to get regular social media hints and tips, because otherwise people might think, oh, what, just so you can spam me? No thanks. So you want to give people a reason for joining, and hopefully you will see that appearing any minute now. Right. Yeah, so please add your details below to join. Yes, you can see that. And you can see it's got three pre-populated or three suggested fields here. It's got email address, first name, and last name. Now, if you want some more information, you can over on the right-hand side. You can add a whole lot of different fields. You could ask for phone numbers and all sorts of things. But bear in mind that the more information you ask from people, the less likely people will actually go ahead and complete this. They might think, why are they wanting to know this? And would actually not complete the form. So you want to get as many people to complete this form. So I would suggest you ask a minimum. But obviously it depends on your business. Right, now let's see, is there a save button? I think this actually just saves as we go along. So we're good to go. Right, the next thing you want to do is, once you've done that, you need to get this added to your Facebook page. Now what you do is you go over to your account, okay, which you will see underneath the ape, the monkey, the chimp. Click on your account name and go to account settings. Now I'm going to take my time doing this because I know there is a little bit of a delay on the screen, and I want you to follow what I'm doing. So I'm clicking on account settings. Hopefully you should be seeing this. Okay, now I'm going to go to extras. Okay, now you'll see a drop down box has appeared. I'm going to click on integration. Okay, I'm just waiting till hopefully you can see this page appear. And scroll down to the one that says Facebook, which is the second one. So I'm clicking on that. I'll log in. Now, sometimes if you're not logged in as your personal page, you have to go back onto MailChimp to do that. So I'll see what happens, what pops up here. Right. Okay, excellent. It looks like it's worked. So now it's gone back to MailChimp. You should be looking at, you should still see MailChimp here. And it's asking me what page I want to use. Now I'm going to use, for this example, I'm going to use my hotel. Alan's Hotel, because I know I haven't. I've got a whole bunch. Facebook only allows you to have one personal profile per person, but you can have as many business pages as you like. And I've got a few dummy ones that I use for this kind of purpose and on workshops. So I'm going to choose Alan's Hotel. Okay, you want to go for choose the name of your list that you're collecting it to. So remember, we called ours webinar test. Now you could have multiple lists if you want, but this is just a basic one here. So we want to use sign up form tab. So we'll click that little radio button to yes. Okay, and we want to choose the Facebook's esque theme. Okay, so click on that, Facebook-esque. Now you can add in the tab label, and that's what goes underneath your app. Now I've found sometimes when you try this, it doesn't always appear on Facebook, and you sometimes have to do it natively on Facebook, but we'll try it here. We'll put in newsletter just to see if that works, and we'll click on save. Okay, now it's telling me the page tab has been updated. Now I'll go over to the Facebook page that we've added this to. Bear with me a second. Okay, I shall find that. Sometimes it doesn't always come up in your choices. So bear with me a second. So it was Alan's Hotel was the name that we added it to. So let's find Alan's Hotel. Okay, hopefully you're finding this useful so far. Right, where's Alan's Hotel? Okay, right at the bottom. So I'm now just opening up Alan's Hotel Facebook page, and you will see this is actually not published, so it's just the bare bones of a Facebook page. Obviously your Facebook page would look much better than this. If I click on the down arrow, you'll see now, you'll see the little MailChimp app. Now if I want to move that up so it's prominent, I can click on that little pencil icon. Excuse me. Just recovering from a bit of a cold here. Okay, that should hopefully stop doing its little loading thing in a second. One of the things you'll notice when I'm running this through the webinar software is there's a little bit of a delay, and things that usually just happen fairly instantly sometimes take a little bit longer to do. Oh, come on. What I was trying to do was actually swap it with one of these other positions. I may have to abandon this actually just because of for time's sake. Okay, that's taking far too long. But what will happen is that will open up a box that will say swap with, like this one, for example. So I can swap with the newsletter. It's just, I don't know why it worked on that one. Go figure. But if you want to change, you can even customize this little icon, although I think that looks quite smart. But if you want something that's bespoke, you can go in, click that little button, click on the right pencil box, little pencil drawing. Oh, it's going to take ages now. Right. Okay, if anybody wants me to show them that in the questions later, I'll come back to that. But I would just want to demonstrate now that you can customize this little app cover. And if I click on the app, you will see the message that we created within MailChimp. Okay, now if you discover you've actually made a mistake or you want to add new text or anything like that, what you have to do is go back into your MailChimp app, go back into, find your lists, find the sign up forms, and actually change it on here But once you've changed it, you then have to go through that integration process I showed you just a minute ago in order to do that. So it's a little bit of a scutter, but you know, if you that's how you would change it if you noticed that you'd made a mistake or you wanted to add extra text. Right, so now you know how to add a widget on to your Facebook page. Are you finding that useful? You just want to let me know in the comments. Are you finding that useful so far? Following me okay? Everybody still with me? I'll watch for the comments to come in. Yes, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, now what I will show you is how to create a little sign up form for your website. The first thing you need to do is work out where on your website you're going to put it. So if I go over to the chat marketing website, I want to tell you about a little developer tool I use called Firebug. Okay, now this works with it works for Firefox. I'm pretty certain there's an extension for Chrome, but basically, if you look to the right hand side of my toolbar, you will see a little looks like a little bee or wasp or something. So obviously it's a Firebug. But if I click on that, you will see that it opens up a little panel at the bottom of my screen. Hopefully you can see that. So what I want to do is, if you look to the right hand side of this screen, now let's make sure I can see everything. Next to the little Firebug icon, hopefully you can see my cursor. Next to that you will see a little picture of a box with an arrow pointing to it. So I'm going to click on that, okay? And now as I hover over the chat marketing Facebook page, you will see it creates a little box around all the images, or even the whole page if I do this. So what I can do is, if you look at I'll make the screen a little bit bigger. If you look to the right hand side of my Firebug app tool, what you can do, you can actually see the different sizes of the elements of my Facebook page. So the obvious place, if I wanted to put a sign up page, I'd probably want to put it the same width as this Twitter box. So I can now look at this and I can see that according to Firebug, the dimensions I want are 280 by 2. So let's see, I'll write this down, 280 by 253. Okay, now what I then do is go back to MailChimp. Now I've worked out where I want it to go. And you do the same process for your blog. So you find the list that you want to add people to. So we've just got the one here, webinar tests. Okay, so this time what I want to do is go to this little drop down box here at the right hand side. Hopefully you can see that. It's next to stats. So I'm clicking on that. I'm going back to sign up forms. Okay, so this is exactly the same page that we were at when we made the Facebook page. Sorry, the Facebook app. This time we're going for the second option, the embedded forms. Okay, so I've clicked on that. Now I don't have time to do everything here to show you all the different controls, but you'll see here you can set the form width. Now I'm not sure if the 280 applies to the width. I could try that. But you'll see as I put in that looks about right actually. If I put I could try it with 253. Yeah. I'd need to have a proper look at that. But you can see as I'm putting in the different width, and that's the information that I've got from Firebug, that then changes the preview that you're getting on the right hand side. Okay, so you can make some other changes here as well if you like. I quite like the plain white, especially if it's going on a coloured background. And you'll notice just below the preview, you've got this copy and paste on your site. So all you need to do is basically copy all this. So you can go down to the bottom, highlight it all, and copy that. Now, if you have access to the back end of your website and you can add text, then that should be fairly straightforward to add that in. If you don't have access to that, what you would need to do is email this to your designer. So, for example, I don't have access to the back end of the chat marketing Facebook page, website. So what I would do is I'd contact the designers, the web company that I use, and say I want this MailChimp sign up form put on my website. Here's the code, and then tell them where it's going to go on the right hand side underneath the Twitter feed, for example. And you've already customized the size, and that's what you've got in the text. So that's that. Okay, so now what you've got is you've got a bucket of leads, a bucket of email addresses that you're collecting, and you're able to collect email addresses from your Facebook page and from your website or your blog. Now you're ready for your first campaign. So if you click on campaigns over on the left toolbar, okay, we're ready to create our first campaign. So I'm going to go for a regular old campaign. That's the first option. We'll send this to the entire list. Okay, and click next at the bottom of the page. I thought I pressed next anyway. Come on. Right, next. Okay, so we'll call this webinar. Let's just call this newsletter. Okay, email subject. How to grow your mailing list with MailChimp. Okay, right, and you can personalize things a little bit here if you want. You can add in merge tags. You can do that once you're actually creating your email lists. Click on next. Now with MailChimp, you can actually send branded, nice sort of HTML emails, but you can also send single emails. Or emails that look like they're single. Right, so you can choose lots of different options. I quite like themes. Let's just see. So you can go down here and you can choose there's some really nice designs, or you can actually just create your own if you like. So we can go down and see something that you think might be quite useful, and you can see they've got 100, well, dozens anyway. So let's just go for this. No. Oh, right. Okay, I'm just going to pick one. Let's go for this one, competition invitation. But you can choose, you can look at all these, and then you edit text. You can edit the text here. Let's close this. So that's design page. That's background color. If you want to change that, you can. We can do that here. That's a horrible color. Header. That's just all colors. Okay, body. Again, you can change colors there if you like. Comments, feedback. Right, so we want to actually change this. Okay, design. Get me back onto the page. Right. Okay. Ah, right. Okay. Don't you just love these things when when you're on a live webinar? Right. Okay. Let's change things around here because we're not a pub. We will edit logo. So we might want to replace that with the chat marketing logo so you can upload files. So files, upload for your files. So you can pull this from your desktop or wherever you store your files. Where are you? Desktop. Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just go with this. Okay, so that should be uploading a picture now. Now, depending on the resolution of the picture, will obviously takes a little bit of time. There you go. And we can change this text as well and go in, click on edit. We are planning. Okay, you get the idea. I'm not going to do any more here, but we can get rid of this button as well. We want rid of this. We can get rid of all of these. There's lots of different options. So you just choose the ones that was most appropriate. And if there isn't one, you can actually just go ahead and create your own option. But you can see it looks really, really slick. Once you're done, just hit next. And let's hope this works this time. I know what's problem. Yeah, it's telling me I can't send this because I don't have anybody in my for it to go to. But then you just go through here and check that they're all right as you want it. And there should be an option now that just says send. Yeah, I can say send, but it won't let me go any further because I've got that issue. Okay, right. I think that's we covered all the options here. Yep. I wanted to show you how to create your first campaign. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. If you want to go into all the different mail merge, all these kind of different things there. Right, let me just bring up my keynote. Right. Right, what I'd like you to do now is if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, please go ahead and ask them. Oops. I don't want to cancel the webinar. Oh, hopefully you're still there and seeing my screen. Oh. If you'd just like to ask any questions, that would be great. Let's just see what questions I have. Okay. Yes, very easy to follow. Thanks very much, Marion. Okay, so if you have any questions, is there anything I've missed out you'd like me to go over again? How do the autoresponders work? Okay, well, that's a good question. Now, depending on which account you have, if you have the premium account, you can do a lot more in the autoresponders. But what you can do, let me see if I can find it again. Bear with me a second. Bring up MailChimp. I should have closed that, shouldn't I? Okay, MailChimp. Right, log in. Bear with me 2 seconds. I will come on to that. Basically, unless you have the paid for account, the free one takes information from your account. So if I go into this one and I go into account settings and go to my profile, what you want to make sure is that, where's it gone now? I was just looking at this today as well. Let's see, account settings. Contact information on it. Yes, this is it here. You want to make sure that your contact information is in this here, because this information and also in your list section, okay, because when in that little Facebook app that I showed you, if you put the information, if you went ahead and subscribed using that, then you'll get a response coming back to you, and it actually has the information from your account. So you want to make sure that you have that filled up. Now, if you click on the autoresponders from the mail toolbar, the main toolbar, sorry, it will tell you that you need to have a premium account, or it should anyway. Yeah. So it says paid accounts only here. So if you want to, that's for triggering auto messages, and that's similar to what I do with Infusionsoft. Okay, I'll come back to my questions. Okay, Marion saying no further questions. Plenty to think about and get started. That's excellent, brilliant. Michael, is there a way you can build your emails in a way you don't end up in, let me see if I can read the rest of this, in a junk folder? Or is this dependent on the customer's inbox? Yes, unfortunately, there's not a kind of a way that, I mean, again, it depends on what email system they're using, but you want to avoid using lots of words like free and italics and lots of exclamation marks and kind of spammy words that you would use. You want to avoid doing that, but there's not really anything you can do. Um, that I can advise you that will help you, unfortunately, there, Michael. But you just have to. Yes, there will be some people that maybe if it's a Gmail account that they maybe have your email go into one of their other tabs. There's not much you can do about that other than avoiding kind of using spammy words in what you're doing. Is there any other questions we have? Or is everybody desperate to go and watch Bayern Munich? Okay, brilliant. Well, it looks like that's all the questions. Brilliant, excellent. Well, hopefully I have explained everything. Unfortunately, since I moved to Mac, I can't actually see. When I was using PC, I could actually see what you were seeing at the same time. So when I was flitting between screens, I was able to check that you were actually seeing what I was doing. But hopefully, you haven't missed any of the processes, and you should now be able to create a Mailchimp account, create a mailing list, add an app to your Facebook page, and a little sign up form for your website. So you can be collecting email addresses from all these forms. And remember, if you are creating a MailChimp app on your Facebook page, apps have their own unique URL. So you could also be referring people to that through Facebook posts, or on Twitter. You could be sending people there as well. Brilliant. Well, if that's all the questions, I'm going to be ending the webinar now. Thank you very much for attending, and hope you got lots of value. Thanks very much. Bye now.